By default, Reveal gives you a date time filter, which allows you to do a date range or use any of the built-in selectors to filter the dashboard to your desired results. However, this can be customized. The first thing that I want to do is actually disable this dropdown from occurring, which means that your user can only do a date range selection. So let's open up VS Code. There's a property called Show Date Filter Menu. I'm going to go ahead and set that to false. I'm going to open this up in my default browser. And now when I render the dropdown, you'll see that there is no additional dropdown for the quick filter options. The reason this is useful is if you are enabling an external filter or having some other option for users to select date, time, you can programmatically offer different date ranges. So in my code, I'm going to scroll up a bit and I'm just going to re-enable a few buttons that I happen to have here. So I've got a set today, set last year, show a 5-day range, show the next 3 days, show the next 7 days. I could have whatever I'd like. So what's actually happening here? If we scroll down and look at some of these functions, we have, for example, set next 3. Ultimately, the goal is to create an RV date range and then set that filter to whatever that date range happens to be. In this case, I'm going to do a filter type of a custom range, and I want to set the date range to what? It's going to be this RV date range, which is the from date and the to date. So I want to get the from date to from tomorrow to the next 2 days after tomorrow, which will give me 3 days, which means it's not going to include today's date. I can customize this however I'd like. If I look at set next 7, I'm doing the same thing. Go from tomorrow, add 6 days, create that RV date range, and then set my RV dashboard date filter. If we go back to our browser and we look at the RV dashboard date filter, you can see you have the date filter type and the range. If I click on the RV date range, you'll see that I have a from and a to date, and I'm just setting those properties right in my code. If we go back and we look at the date filter type and I look at my RV date filter type, you'll see that I have an enum here for all time, custom range, last week, last month, etc. All of the options that are already in my dropdown. However, I'm going to surface these as custom options through the buttons that I've enabled in my application. So if I open this up in the browser, you can see here I have my custom buttons. I'm not going to use this date dropdown. So I want to look at the data from last 365 days. Today is actually the 30th of May. So it's including today and then giving me all prior days. If I look at a 5-day range, it's picking today plus the next 5 days. If I look at the next 3 days, I did not include today, so I want tomorrow, the 1st, and the 2nd. Of course, if you want to include today for next 3 days, you can. It's a custom date range. And if I go to the next 7 days, you remember I did the same thing. I did not include the 30th, which is today. I included the next days in my data set. My date filter also happens to be visible, and you can see that anything that I did set in terms of my filter is getting reflected in the date filter as well, and my chart is getting updated. But what if I want to just update my quick filters from the dropdown within the date range selector? So let's go back to our code. I am going to scroll up. Let's get rid of our buttons, and let's take a look at the on date filter menu opening function. So this is going to pull in the args, which will give you the items and those item values that are in the dropdown. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to remove all of those items, and then I want to add my own options here. So I'm going to use an RV date filter menu option with that RV date rule. And what RV date rule do I want to use? Well, based on the menu item, maybe I want to use the period last. So the last 3 days, or I want to do the next 3 days, or the last 7 days, etc. So you have the same type of enum as well as built-in functions that will allow you to display what you'd like. In this case, let's say, for example, in my custom buttons, I had my next options, and here I want to do my last options. I just happen to comment those out. But let's right-click and take a look and see what this looks like now. So I have my date dropdown. Oh, let's go ahead and make sure that we have commented this line of code out. So I do want to show the date filter. Let's open this up in the browser. I will do the dropdown, and when I select this, you can see I have a custom date range, all time, last 3 days, or last 7 days. The number 3 and the number 7 come from the values that you're giving in the RV date rule. So I want to do a period relation, what, the last or previous, how many, 3 of what, I want to do 3 days. So that's how that gets constructed. So here, if I select the last 3 days and click apply, you'll see I have the prior 3 days. If I go back and, for example, just to see what the data looks like, we'll hit apply again. And actually, I have data starting from the 28th through June 10th. So if I do the last 7 days, I'll probably just see 3 items here. Yes, I will see today plus the prior 2 days. So I did the last 7, but I don't have enough data for the previous 7 days. That's how easy it is to customize your date ranges using the Date Filter API in Reveal.